Doula is a Greek word. It means women in the service of women. So most people have maybe heard, or a lot of people have maybe heard about a birth doula. A birth doula is there for a birth from whenever the mom calls the doula all the way until a couple hours after.
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody knows what a postpartum doula is.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right, so a postpartum doula, we do have some of the similar elements. So we have emotional, physical, informational, and practical support for new families. The difference between a birth doula and a postpartum doula is postpartum doula comes in after the baby is born.
Oh.
So once the baby is born, then a postpartum doula would come in and help the family as they transition their life from being a couple into having a new baby in their family. Babies, we can start out in pregnancy and help a family set up for their new life with their baby. We can set up breastfeeding stations and make sure they're ready nutritionally for what is to come once the baby is born and what they're going to need to regain their nutrients and their energy after they've just birthed. And then we can also help with, once the baby's there, we can meet them at their house. We can come in a couple days down the road or even a couple weeks. There's a variety of ways that we can help a new family. So as a postpartum doula for 18 years now, there are a lot of different ways that a postpartum doula can help a family. It depends, of course, on if we're talking about daytime care or overnight care. Let's start with daytime care. So it can be anything from just sitting down with the mom when I walk in and making a list. What are our priorities for the day? Our priorities are making sure mother is fed, or the main caregiver parent is fed, rested, and her space is clean and clear. She's got all the little details taken care of for her so that, or him, the parent, so that all they have to do is worry about bonding and caring for their baby. And we do try to make a postpartum doula, we've tried to focus on a few things. Making sure the parent is fed, rested, and cared for so that they can do their best to take care of their baby.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. Yeah, anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, and there's so much that we can do. Let me give you some examples of some of the different families that I've worked for. One family, when I walked in the door, I greeted her. I made sure that she had snacks. I made sure that her and her baby were set up, and their baby feeding station and their sleeping station was all set to go. And then I would make sure that the laundry was done, and I would keep that cycling while I was there. I would go to the kitchen, make sure that the counters were clear and the dishes were in the dishwasher, and possibly even prep a meal for the night for that family. And if it were a nighttime, that's a whole other realm of.
So a nighttime is something that a postpartum doula does, or is that very different from like a nanny nurse or a babysitter, let's say? I think sometimes people have a hard time deciphering between a babysitter and a nanny and a nurse and
a postpartum doula.
And a postpartum doula.
Right.
And I think
so. Yes, you bring up a very good point. There are a lot of different kinds of caregivers that can help a family through the night. There is a night nanny. That's one thing that a parent can call on to help them get through the night with a new baby. There is a newborn care specialist that can be called upon, or there is a postpartum doula who can do night care. And there are some similarities and some differences. A postpartum doula's focus is the family, and a newborn care specialist or a night nanny would be more of a baby. Their focus would be more of the baby. A postpartum doula is going to help a family navigate nighttime wakings and feedings and help them. Maybe a postpartum doula will sit with the mom and help them stay awake while they breastfeed their brand new baby because they're maybe a little bit of sleep
That's
deprived.
very special.
And so that's one thing that I've definitely done for families before. Just keep mom awake. We are there to support moms. We are a huge resource and referral. I love to when I see something is just slightly out of my scope, I love to refer some of the other professionals in my community to those parents. For instance, I had a mom who had just had her baby and she was really struggling with some breastfeeding issues. And I went there, and as a certified lactation counselor, I was able to help her with some breastfeeding positions and things like that. But I could see that what she was going through was slightly out of my scope, as she was experiencing some pain and discomfort also with her breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to give her a referral for a cranial sacral therapist and an IB-CLC. And
Incredible.
yeah, after a couple days and treatment, she is breastfeeding